Did you know that there are over 30 restaurants in Old Town Portsmouth? These range from fine dining establishments to casual dining spots, making Old Town a great place to visit any time of the year, but especially in March, when there's also a St. Patrick's Day festival and one annual event that's steeped in Portsmouth's rich colonial history. We'll tell you all about it right here, right now, on this episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to this March 2025 episode of Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. With over 30 restaurants, Old Town Portsmouth has been a prime dining destination in Hampton Roads for years. Our first guest today is Keith Lauer, who tells us about the impressive variety of restaurants you'll find here. Keith, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you, it's great to be back.
Now, you're going to tell us about basically what's available food-wise in Old Town.
Absolutely. Old Town has quite the collection of eclectic restaurants. Most all of them are chef-owned or family-owned restaurants. Lobscouser and Barron's Pub have been here for years. I think they opened in the 80s sometime,
yeah.
So they've been here a long time. The Commodore Theater is also another institution on High Street. People forget that the Commodore is actually a restaurant in addition to a movie theater. But yeah, the variation of culinary offerings here are just pretty incredible.
With a variety of ethnic foods as you can get here, different international foods.
We have two Thai restaurants, Thai Basil and Bangkok Garden. We have two Mexican restaurants. We have like a California Mexican restaurant at 619 Cantina. That's one of those places where you can go and get the burrito with your French fries stuffed inside the burrito. Yep. So that's a popular place too. And then we also, have the deli has opened up here for going to get great sandwiches at the deli. Yeah. The beer garden is fantastic.
Well, it's the only German restaurant in the region.
And it's been here since I think 1997.
Yeah.
Got quite the reputation, and they do the big Oktoberfest every year.
Right.
And, people have come to know them because of that, but they have also known them because it's a family-run business. It started with Mom and Tony running the restaurant, and now Stephanie and Kevin are running it, the kids, and they were there when Mom and Tony started. So the beer garden has become an institution here. Yeah. And then you go down to the waterfront. You've got the Crawford restaurant that just opened. I mean, for fine dining at the Renaissance Hotel.
And great seafood.
Absolutely, seafood at Fish and Slips down the marina. One of the best views in all of Hampton Roads.
I always say you haven't seen Norfolk till you've seen it
from this
side of the river.
Exactly. And then down at 1 High Street in the old historic building there, we have a wonderful Jamaican style restaurant. Cool. There. So if you want your Rasta pasta. That's what I always get. That's my favorite dish down there. But they have that kind of offering too. So all up and down High Street.
And pizza places?
Pizza places, High Street pizza. That is, people come from all over for High Street pizza. It's one of the few Detroit style pizza places in Hampton Roads. And Detroit style is the thick crust like you would see in Chicago style pizza, similar. But they put the sauce on after the pizza is cooked, so the sauce goes on top. Yeah. And it's cooked in a rectangular pan, and so the sides get really crispy. It's delicious. It's some of the best pizza I've ever had.
What's so great about this? All of these are within walking distance of each other.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about 4 blocks.
And walking distance from the ferry. If you take the ferry from Norfolk, walk up High Street, and you can find all of these restaurants. And don't be afraid to look on the side streets. Yeah. Court Street. Public House. Yes. Gino's Pizza, New York style pizza there. Walk around the corner onto Queen Street and you'll find, a speakeasy, still eclectic tapas. Yeah, yes. And they have one of the best cocktail selections in all of Hampton Roads.
Yeah, still.
It really is a beautiful place.
And you don't know it's there.
That's right.
It looks like an old 200-year-old home, and then you see the going down in the basement.
Go looking for it.
But it's really nice.
So you need to explore the side streets as well. One of the Mexican restaurants, both Mexican restaurants are one's at the end of Court and one is on Dinwiddie Street. To find those. So they're not all right on High Street. You've got to look for them.
And what I've noticed in recent years, most of these places, a lot of will have some sort of live entertainment or something Trivia Pursuit or something like that going on a lot of the nights.
Absolutely. So they have, we'll be bringing in live entertainment. You can find live entertainment at Roger Brown's, at Barron's Pub. A lot of times at Public House, you can find live entertainment there. The brewery, Post-Secondary Brewery up in the 700 block of High Street, they're bringing in live entertainment. But they're also doing things like trivia nights, and they're doing music bingo and bingo nights.
Right.
And then if you, expand further out, the breweries we have in Churchland, Momac, and Harbor Trail,
and they're
always
packed.
doing.
They are always. And they always have Momac.
But
has
Momac,
live entertainment. Seems like every night.
all the time. Well, cornhole tournaments, bingo. They do comedy nights out there. So, and sometimes Sunday afternoons you'll find entertainment out there. And same with Post-Secondary. They'll book entertainment on Sunday afternoons sometimes.
And then there's also, people don't think about this, but there's also restaurants in the casino.
Absolutely.
Which is right off of 264.
Right, the casino has been a real strong addition to Portsmouth. We're glad that they're here. You've got Admiral Steakhouse, and on Thursday nights they bring in jazz.
Okay.
And so
that's a really upscale place.
Really
already.
upscale. It's beautiful. And then you can, in the warm weather, they've got outdoor dining there as well. The Crossings Cafe, and then you have the faster food. I'm not going to call it fast food, but the faster food restaurants that are in the casino that allow you to go in and get something quickly and get back to the gaming.
So really, if you're like a devoted foodie, it's really worth it to come over here.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Any day of the week. We just finished up Restaurant Week, and we brought people from all over coming to explore our restaurants, and it really worked out well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming here and telling us about this. And is there a website that people can go to find out more about the museums, not the museums, the restaurants in general?
The restaurants. Well, we have on the tourism website, which is visitportsva.com. We have information about all the restaurants. You can look it up. You can see their Google reviews. If you want to read about them a little bit, they're all listed there by neighborhood. So if you're interested in Old Town, just click on the Old Town restaurants, or the Churchland restaurants, or the Craddock restaurants, and Midtown restaurants. Yeah. And then you can also, for the calendar, to find out who's doing what, we have an incredible calendar, PortsmouthCalendar.com. That's also housed on our website.
Again, you can put in I think a week, like a time day, starting here, starting there, and it gives you restaurants and who's playing there, what nights, and what's going on there.
Or it just will stack up for about a month and a half.
Wow.
So that's great. Yeah. So go visit portsva.com. You'll find everything you need right there.
All right. Well, thanks so much for stopping by and telling us about it.
Appreciate it. Anytime.
Thanks to St. Patrick's Day, March is now associated with shamrocks, leprechauns, and green beer. On Sunday afternoon, March 16th, historic St. Paul's Catholic Church will be sponsoring a St. Patrick's Day festival right here in Old Town. Here's Neil Dewing to tell us about it. Neil, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Rob, thanks for having me.
I'm glad to get you here and talk about, as far as I know, a lot of restaurants and things around here do St. Patrick's Day entertainment or green beer and stuff, but we actually have a St. Patrick's Day festival happening in Old Town this year.
Yes, we do. St. Paul's Catholic Church is hosting our first annual St. Patrick's Day festival. It's going to be a little street festival Sunday, March 16th, from 2 to 6 p.m. Right there in front of St. Paul's Catholic Church. We're closing down the street. The city's helping us do that. So we're going to have it right there on the street. We're going to have some live Irish music. We're going to have Irish food. We're going to have Irish beer. It will not be dyed green. It will just be regular old beer. And it'll be we'll have games and activities for the kids and all kinds of fun stuff there. We'll have we'll also have a demonstration of an Irish sport called hurling.
Okay.
And if the audience isn't familiar with hurling, it's a combination of baseball, field hockey, lacrosse, and I'm told from people who play it, a little bit of murder thrown in there because it's a little bit of a violent sport. So it should be interesting to see that demonstrated.
That's fantastic. Now this is free. I mean, you were going to buy food and the beer and stuff will be for sale.
Attendance is free. Food costs $12 for a meal. We're going to have your Irish classics: corned beef, cabbage, carrots. We're going to have potatoes, of course, with the beer. Along with actually these really lovely soda bread scones and brown bread. I've personally tasted these; they're phenomenal. So it's going to be plenty to eat. When we run out. So get there early, get yourself a meal ticket and fill up.
And if you don't want a meal, you just come there for everything
Absolutely,
else.
come and enjoy the ambiance, the live music. We're also this is kind of exciting for us. We're opening up the church for tours from the local community. One of the goals that we have with this event is to sort of open up St. Paul's a little bit more to our neighbors and to the local Portsmouth community here in downtown. And so to that end, we're opening up the church for tours, and we've got this beautiful, beautiful church built in 1897, neo-Gothic architecture.
There's nothing else like it around here.
It's a gorgeous edifice. It's actually the 4th or 5th church to stand on that site since 1804. There's a lot of history there. So we'll have self-guided tours. You can enjoy our beautiful stained glass. We have not one, but 2 windows dedicated to St. Patrick's.
Okay.
And we've got a St. Bridget window. So you can tell there were a lot of Irish congregants at the time that this church was built. So a lot of Irish history at the parish, a lot to see, a lot of beauty to take in, and just kind of sharing our Catholic heritage with our neighbors downtown.
Fantastic. That sounds like a lot of fun. Now, if people wanted to find out more about this, is there a web page they can go to or a number to call?
Well, so it's our first year, and so we're still kind of getting all things together, but maybe next year we'll have a website. This year we're putting it out word of mouth and through your fine program here. So.
Okay, so give us the day and time again and location.
So Sunday, March 16th, right in front of St. Paul's Catholic Church, starts at 2, ends at 6. So then we expect to see you there, fill up, drink up, have a good time, and we would love to have you.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for stopping by here and telling
Absolutely,
us about
Rob.
it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anya and Michelle Peterson join us next to tell us about an annual spring event commemorating Old Town's rich Revolutionary War history, a post such as Portsmouth. Well, welcome to Portsmouth now, Anya and Michelle. Now, you're here to tell us about an event coming up in March. What is that event called?
A post such as Portsmouth.
A post such as Portsmouth. And that's a historical reenactment event?
Yeah.
Okay, who sponsors that?
The Youth Virginia Regiment.
The Youth Virginia Regiment. And you're part of that?
Yes.
And so you're like reenactors, you reenact history and military maneuvers and things like that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool.
Also, camp followers and civilians.
Okay, camp followers. Okay, that's great. So you really get into the history, and then you all get together and do these reenactments. Now, what is the day and time for a post such as Portsmouth? When does that take place?
March 23rd.
March 23rd. Okay.
Wait, 22nd.
22nd. Okay. And where will that be?
Right here in Portsmouth.
Right here in Portsmouth. Okay. In Old Town here.
Yes, it's going to be starting here at the Visitor Center, mostly centered around the Red Lion Park.
Okay.
March 22nd and 23rd from 10 to 4 on Saturday and 10 to 2 on Sunday.
Fantastic. Now, if people come out, what are they going to see?
Lots of living history. We have games and cooking and dancing and music for civilians and some military drill and naval stuff for the soldiers and sailors.
Well, that's cool. So it'll be like you're living 200 years ago then. That's fantastic. Now, how long have the two of you been doing this? How long have you been part of the regiment?
About 5 years.
About 5 years? Same with you?
Yeah.
And you two are sisters?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So do you have a lot of fun? What are you interested in history?
Oh, definitely. I look forward to all the events.
That's good. Now, I know you have these costumes. Like, is this the type of thing that you wear all the time, or do you change out and wear different costumes for different events? Or?
She wears just about the same thing. There's a few things that change, but I have 3 outfits that I wear.
Okay. That's fantastic. So, would you, if other kids want to get involved in this, would you recommend this something they would probably enjoy doing if they like history and like acting and dressing up? And that's cool, fantastic. Okay, so tell us, the name of the event one time is A Post Such as Portsmouth. It's going to be held here in Old Town Portsmouth on what days again?
March 22nd and 23rd.
22nd and 27th. All right, well, thank you so much for coming out, and good luck. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'll try to get there for it. And really, you should too. These kids are giving their all to really bringing colonial history to life for all of us. So be sure to check out posts such as Portsmouth. Mark Polomarchuk joins us next to tell us what the Department of Parks and Recreations has in store this March. Mark, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Thanks for having me back, Rob.
So what Parks and Recreation have on schedule for the month of March?
So March, we're actually culminating a lot of our winter sports seasons. One of the most exciting one is our youth basketball season. So we culminate with a citywide basketball tournament that third week in March, which we partner with several other organizations on. That way those kids that have put in hard work all season long now get to go and see and get proving rounds and see who's going to be the best team.
Great. Well, where does that take place?
So usually it'll take place at IC Norcom High School. It's slated to do that again this year. And it'll be the third week in March. Dates are still to be determined based on makeups.
Okay, and if people want more information, they go to the website, your department's website, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, portsmouthparks.com, or they can call our main number at 757-393-8481.
Okay, well, now March, of course, supposedly is a month when spring starts, warming up hopefully. So what's in line with the parks and things?
So I always think that March is one of the best times to get outside in Hampton Roads. A lot of people don't realize this, but Portsmouth has over 40 parks throughout the city. From our big ones like City Park, which most people are aware of, and then we have 2 nature reserves, Hoffler Creek and then Paradise Creek.
Yeah.
In addition to that, there's 35 other neighborhood parks spread throughout the city. So I always encourage people to get outdoors, taking advantage of the nice weather before it gets too hot,
Yeah.
and then you don't really want to be outside.
Yeah, and the nature preserves actually at Hoffler Creek is beautiful this time of year.
It is fantastic. There's plenty of walking trails,
Yeah.
all different lengths of walking trails, so it's good for any ability. And of course, they are ADA accessible as well.
Yeah, and Paradise Creek is beautiful. And
Paradise Creek as well, yes, it's one of the best times. A lot of times, secret here, you can actually start to go blackberry foraging at Paradise Creek.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yes.
So for Blackberry fans, and I gotta say, I'm a lifelong, I'm native of Portsmouth. City Park has never looked better.
It is our flagship park.
It
by far.
really is. It's a beautiful park. It really is.
Thank you. Yes.
And if a lot of people watching probably haven't been there in decades, I'm going to assume, go check it out. You'll be shocked. I mean, really pleasantly surprised how beautiful it is there.
Thank you for that, Rob.
You're welcome. Well, thanks for stopping by. I know you're busy and telling us what's happening in March.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks. Here's Aaron Colson to tell us what's happening this March at the City of Portsmouth's museums. Aaron, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
Now, you're here to tell us about events at many of the museums in Portsmouth, but I want you first to put on your hat as the curator of fun for the Children's Museum, the manager, and tell us what's happening there in the month of March.
Sure. So we are all aboard for fun at the Children's Museum of Virginia right now with our Thomas and Friends Explore the Rail exhibits. You can meet Thomas as well as Percy and James and some of his other trained friends while you visit the museum and explore the island of Sodor while you're there. We'll have that exhibit through April.
Wow, okay. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun.
Thomas is really popular right here.
He is. He's a very awesome blue train.
Okay, anything else happening at the Children's Museum besides that?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Saturday, March 8th, we'll be celebrating Second Saturdays with Women's Day. We'll be looking at women in STEM and their contributions. So we're super excited to share that with families. And then the following Saturday, March 18th, we'll have Ondelo's Library, where we'll share a book and activity with families throughout the day.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be a great month. We're really excited.
Now, switch hats and speak for the museums in general. I
Sure.
think there's some historical events taking place, some history-related events
There's
taking
all
place.
kinds of really cool stuff going on in March as we continue our Black History Now series. So I'd encourage everybody to check out blkhistorynow.com for all of our updated events and exhibits. So starting March 1st, we have 2 exhibits opening. The first is about the Dry Dock 1 at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard Museum. And then the second is an exhibit about African Americans in the shipyard. So I'd highly encourage everyone to check out that Glenn McClure exhibit while they're there. On Saturday, March 1st, we'll have an opening talk and exhibit exploration with Glenn and the photos. So we're really excited to share that. And then on March 8th, we'll be exploring more about the dry docks with Dr. Linda Upman-Bornstein as she talks to us about Dry Dock 1 and how it was built and the contributions of both Black, free, and enslaved individuals as part of that process. It is the oldest graving dry dock in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So how they got there wouldn't have happened without the contributions of Black and African Americans.
Of course.
So we're really excited to explore that lecture with her. And then on March 22nd, we'll also have a lecture where we discuss George TMO with Dr. Rafia Zafar. And that is going to be all about his contributions as one of the first Black enslaved individuals who then became a politician. Okay. So we're really excited for that lecture as well. In addition, we'll be looking at the African American Quilters Guild, the 5440 quilt exhibit at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center starting on Saturday, March 22nd.
Fantastic. Now, if people wanted more information, they could go online, just sort of Google Port City Portsmouth Museums?
Absolutely. Google Portsmouth Museums or check out blkhistorynow.com.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much. And I know that you have fun awaiting you across Children's
sure
Museum,
do.
but thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
Our final guest is Keith Abernathy, who would tell us about the 2025 Friends of the Naval Shipyard Museum Speaker Series beginning on March 22nd. Keith, welcome to Portsmouth Now.
Oh, thanks for having me back, Rob.
Now, I am looking at the 2025 Speaker Series sponsored by the Friends of the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard Museum, and it's great, and it starts in March.
It does.
Okay, tell us about that.
Oh, well, people are excited about next year when we celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation.
Yeah.
But don't forget the milestones that occurred this year. Milestones in naval history that are important not only to the city of Portsmouth, but to all of Hampton Roads with their military ties. And so the Speaker Series is meant this year to commemorate some of those milestones. The 250th birthday of the U.S. Navy, 250th birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps, 250 years of Navy medicine, and 250 years of support by Norfolk Naval Shipyard to the Navy.
Oh, wow.
So a big year.
And my understanding is that the shipyard is the oldest shipyard in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, there's sometimes an argument who's older, the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard in Kittery, Maine, or the Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Portsmouth, Virginia. But it's been proven the Norfolk Naval Shipyard is the oldest.
Wow. Okay. Now, you're about the museum itself, the Shipyard Museum. Is that your organization supports that, and what helps with volunteers, and what is your cause to the museum?
Well, the museum actually started originally inside the shipyard in about 1950, and it's always had strong community support. And thanks to some dedication of some friends of the museum, it moved to its current location on the waterfront here in downtown in 1963, where it still serves to preserve and share the city's, big naval history.
And they had some major
heritage.
renovations in the building itself in the last 5 or 6 years.
It has, because that's an old building. That building was actually part of the ferry system.
Yeah.
It was a maintenance building, so it's old and it needs help.
Yeah, but it's looking good.
But the Friends were really organized to support the museum in any way that the director of the museums, or especially the curator of the Naval Shipyard Museum, asked us to do, either by advertising, voluntary efforts, financial assistance, or even the educational programming like the Speaker Series.
Okay, so tell us about the series. And by the way, it's not held at the museum itself. It's held here in the.
It's held right here in this building, just behind the Welcome Center in the auditorium.
Okay.
And it starts at 2 p.m. for all the talks.
On Saturdays.
On Saturdays, a perfect time to bring the family down, and all the folks enjoy, a day in Portsmouth. Explore the old farmers market during the morning, have a wonderful lunch at one of the fantastic local restaurants, and then take in and sit back and take in a very informative discussion on naval history.
Okay, fantastic. So now the first lecture this year is Saturday, March 22nd at 2. And who's going to be speaking there?
We start with one of the best. I like to call him JVQ, John V. Korstein. He is like a national treasure when it comes to naval history. And we've had him several times. And he's excited this time to speak about the founding of the U.S. Navy. Now, John, if you don't know him, just for those that don't, he's an award-winning author, historian, preservationist, and probably better known in this area as the Director Emeritus of the USS Monitor Center.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, and then the second one comes up a little bit later in June 7th?
June, okay. The Navy's first, and then comes the Marine Corps, Sean Callahan. Now, Sean is coming all the way from Quantico, Virginia. He is the director of the History Division at the Quantico Museum. We shot for the top on all 4 of these lectures, and we got the best speakers on each subject. So Sean's coming in, and he's going to speak on the history of the Marine Corps.
I'm looking at the schedule. I know that the last 2, one is October 11th and one is November 1st. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. The third one is going to salute the Navy medicine, 250 years of Navy medicine. This will be of interest to the Portsmouth hospital, naval hospital people, also people that know the USNS Comfort ship, that the hospital ship right down the river, home ported there at the Navy base. And then the speaker on that is interesting. His name is Andrei Sobocinski. He is the historian of the Bureau of Medicine and Surgery for the Navy. Okay. So he's going to be outstanding. The last one we salute, of course, our local Norfolk Naval Shipyard, and we've got Marcus Robbins. He's the historian, the archivist at the shipyard. He always brings a lot of artifacts with him. He's going to bring some of probably the dry dock with him. Last time he was here, you could hold part of the dry dock #1 in your hand. Yeah. And Marcus is always just full of the history of the shipyard, and we're loving having him back.
Well, I know that everybody that lives in Portsmouth in the area knows that so much of Portsmouth history, and actually Portsmouth probably wouldn't be here if not for the shipyard. So all these 4 lectures really give us an opportunity to learn about the shipyard and the history of the Navy, and basically probably why Norfolk and Portsmouth are here.
Exactly. You know, we concentrated last year on the speaker series just on Portsmouth. It was the secrets of Portsmouth. It was great. This year we're expanding it to kind of concentrate all of Hampton Roads. Yeah. With the naval heritage in this area, it's going to be great. Oh, one you don't want to miss.
Now, people want information. Is there a website they can go to, or a number they can call?
There is. You know, you can Google the Friends of the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, or you can go to the Friends of Portsmouth NSM, which is Portsmouth Naval Museum, and you can bring it up on the web.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming by and telling us
Rob,
about it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. That's it for our show today. If you'd like to find out more about any of the events featured on today's show or any other events taking place in Portsmouth, simply log on to www.portsvacation.com and then come to Portsmouth, where if you give us a day, we'll give you a vacation. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me next month for another episode of Portsmouth Now.